Ka-Acute Angels! Welcome back for another Mathinic episode.
This is Teacher Mika.
And this is Teacher Joyme.
Today, we will learn about approximating measurement. Are you excited?
Before we start, kindly prepare your self-learning module, your pen, and paper to write your solutions and answers as we progress with our discussion.
Also, look for a place in your home where you feel comfortable and safe. And most importantly, prepare yourself to watch and listen carefully. After going through this module, you are expected to approximate the measures of quantities, particularly length, weight or mass, volume, time, angle, temperature, and rate.
But before we proceed, let us recall first some important terms of measurement. Rearrange the letters of the following highlighted terms and fill in the blanks provided to complete the sentences. Number 1. The blank means to give a particular number to a particular characteristic of a person, an object, or a concept. When measurements are made, they are expressed quantitatively as numbers. You have 10 seconds to answer. Okay, the correct answer is measure. Number 2. The blank is the term used for identifying the size of an object by the distance from end to end, or commonly referred to as the longest dimension of an object. You have 10 seconds to answer. The correct answer is length. Number 3. Blank refers to the amount of matter an object has. You have 10 seconds to answer. Alright, the correct answer is mass. Number 4. Blank is the gravitational force acting on an object. You have 10 seconds to answer. The correct answer is weight. Number 5. Blank is the amount of space an object occupies. In a container, it is considered to be the capacity of the container. You have 10 seconds to answer. Okay, the correct answer is volume. Number 6. Blank is the ongoing and continuous sequence of events taking place in succession, from past to the present to the future. You have 10 seconds to answer. Alright, the correct answer is time. Number 7. Blank was derived from the Latin word angulus, which means corner. It is a figure formed when two rays share a common endpoint called the vertex. You have 10 seconds to answer. The correct answer is angle. Number 8. Blank is the measurement of the degree of hotness or coldness of an object or substance. You have 10 seconds to answer. And the correct answer is temperature. Number 9. Blank is the ratio between two related quantities in different units. You have 10 seconds to answer. The correct answer is rate.
Let's have another activity, and let's do this together. Determine the dimension of the following objects at home, using only the parts of your arms. Indicate the appropriate part of the arm used for each object. Do this activity with your parent, guardian, or sibling. Record the results in the given table. The first two columns were accomplished as your example. The given objects are envelope, notebook, table, and house. Length is describing how long something is, while width is describing how wide an object is. Note that palm is the width of one's hand excluding the thumb. Handspan is the distance from the tip of the thumb to the tip of the little finger of one's hand with fingers spread apart. Forearm length is the length of one's forearm, the distance from the elbow to the tip of the middle finger.
Have you ever wondered what the world would be when we use our palm, handspan, and forearm length instead of rulers, measuring tapes, and meter sticks? This module connects us to the history where we don't have to worry about our physical differences such as sizes of our palm and forearm because the standards are already set. To appreciate more, let us learn together this module.
How was your experience with the previous activity? Did you find it hard to do actual measurement? Were there any differences in your data and your other family members' data? What do you think is the cause of those differences? This could explain everything.
One of the earliest inventions of human beings was the unit of measurement. In ancient times, people needed measurement to determine how long or wide things are. They need to measure things to build their houses or make their clothes. Later, units of measurement were used in trade and commerce. In the 3rd century BC in Egypt, people used their body parts to determine the measurements of things. The same body parts that you used to measure the assigned things to you in the previous activity.
First is the forearm length, which was called cubit. Next is the handspan, which was considered a half cubit, while the palm was considered 1/6 of a cubit. The Egyptians came up with these units to be more accurate in measuring different lengths. Here are more illustrations of the non-standard units used in measuring length. However, using these units of measurement had a disadvantage. Not everyone had the same forearm length. Discrepancies arose when the people started comparing their measurements to one another because measurements of the same thing differed, depending on who was measuring it. Because of this, these units of measurement are called non-standard units of measurement, which later on evolved into what is now the inch, foot, and yard, the basic units of length in the English system of measurement.
Let us talk about the metric system first. The metric system is an internationally agreed decimal system of measurement created in France in 1799. The International System of Units, or SI, the official system of measurement in almost every country in the world, is based upon the metric system. In the metric system, each basic type of measurement, such as length, weight, capacity, has one basic unit of measure, which are meter, gram, and liter. Conversions are quickly made by multiplying or dividing by factors of 10. It is as simple as moving the decimal point to the right for smaller prefixes, or to the left for larger prefixes. To remember the proper decimal movement, arrange the prefixes from largest to smallest. The 7 SI base units are comprised of number 1, length, and the base unit is meter. Number 2, time, and the base unit is second. Number 3, amount of substance, and the base unit is mole. Number 4, electric current, and the base unit is ampere. Number 5, temperature, and the base unit is Kelvin. Number 6, luminous intensity, and the base unit is candela. And number 7, mass, and the base unit is kilogram.
How about the English system? While the metric system was lawfully accepted for use in the United States in 1866, the U.S. has not adopted the metric system as its official system of measurement. The U.S. English system of measurement grew out of the manner in which people secured measurements using body parts and familiar objects. For example, shorter ground distances were measured with the human foot, and longer distances were measured with paces, with 1 mile being 1,000 paces. Capacities were measured with household items such as cups, pails, or formerly called gallons, and baskets. Obviously, this system allowed for discrepancies between measurements obtained by different individuals. A standard was eventually set to ensure that all measurements represented the same amount for everyone. Take a look at this table. For length, 1 foot is 12 inches. 1 yard is 3 feet. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. Also, 1 mile is 1,760 yards. For weight, 1 pound is 16 ounces. 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. For capacity, 1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. 1 cup is 16 tablespoons. Also, 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces. 1 pint is 2 cups. 1 quart is 2 pints. And 1 gallon is 4 quarts. Let's do example number 1. Estimate your non-standard units. Use a measuring tool. It can be tape measure or ruler to measure your non-standard units to metric units. Note your answer for the next activity. For my palm, it measures 7 centimeters or 0.07 meter. For my hand span, it measures 18 centimeters or 0.18 meter. And for my forearm or cubit, it measures 40 centimeters or 0.4 meter. Next, using the data in Table 1, estimate the lengths of the following objects in Table 2 without using any measuring tool. To measure the ball pen, I used 2 palms for the non-standard unit. It measures 14 cm on metric unit. To measure the length of window pane, I used 4 forearms or cubits for the non-standard unit. It measures 1.6 meters on metric unit. To measure the length of my foot, I used 3 palms for the non-standard unit. It measures 21 centimeters on the metric unit. To measure the length of my dining table, I used 2 forearms or cubits for the non-standard unit. It measures 0.8 meter on metric unit.
Example number 2. Anna plans to buy plants and vermicast at nearby garden shop but has a vehicle with limited weight capacity of 800 kilograms for the items to be bought. If the sacks of vermicast weigh 250 kilograms and each plant weighs approximately 4.5 kilograms, what is the maximum number of plants that Anna can buy and transport regardless of the size? Here's the solution. Step 1. Find the available capacity the vehicle can hold. The vehicle capacity is 800 kilograms and the weight of vermicast is 250 kilograms. Getting the difference of the two, we have 800 kilograms minus 250 kilograms is equal to 550 kilograms. Step 2. 550 kilograms divided by 4.5 kilograms, which is the weight of each plant, is equal to 122.22 or approximately 122. Therefore, 122 is the maximum number of plants that Anna can buy and transport.
Example number 3. A rectangular container van needs to be filled with identical cubical balikbayan boxes. If the container van's length, width, and height are 16 feet, 4 feet, and 6 feet respectively, while each balikbayan box has an edge of 2 feet, what is the maximum number of balikbayan boxes that can be placed inside the van? Here is the solution. Step 1. We need to get the volume of the van. The formula is length times width times height. So from the given a while ago, we have 16 feet times 4 feet times 6 feet. So we get 384 cubic feet. For step 2, we need to get the volume of the balikbayan box. The formula for that is edge cube. So from the given a while ago, the balikbayan box has an edge of 2 feet. So therefore we have 2 feet cube, which is 8 cubic feet. And lastly, step number 3, to get the maximum number of balikbayan boxes that can be placed inside the van, we will divide the volume of the van by the volume of the box. So we have 384 cubic feet divided by 8 cubic feet. We have 48 boxes.
Example number 4. In estimating measurement of angle, we need to recall the different kinds of angles such as acute angle, an angle whose measure is greater than 0 degree but less than 90 degrees. Right angle, an angle whose measure is exactly 90 degrees. And obtuse angle, an angle whose measure is more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. Now, estimate the measurement of the angle below. Use your protractor to check your estimate. Okay, so the measure of this angle is 50 degrees. Did you get it right?
Example number 5. Zale, a Cebu resident, was packing his suitcase for his trip to New York City the next day for a 2-week vacation. He googled New York weather and found out that the average temperature there is 15 degrees Celsius. Should he bring a sweater? What data should Zale consider before making a decision? Here is the solution. Number 1. What data should Zale consider before making a decision? In order to determine whether he should bring a sweater or not, Zale needs to compare the average temperature in New York City to the temperature he is used to, which is the average temperature in Cebu. Compared average temperatures should always be expressed in same units and be converted if it differs. Number 2. Should Zale bring a sweater? The average temperature in Cebu is between 24 to 32 degrees Celsius. Since the average temperature in New York City is 15 degrees Celsius, Zale should probably bring a sweater since the latter temperature is way below the temperature he is used to. Better yet, he should bring a jacket just to be safe.
Example number 6. The concept of time is very basic and is integral in the discussion of other concepts such as speed. Currently, there are two types of notation in stating time, the 12-hour notation or the standard time and the 24-hour notation or the military or astronomical time. Standard time makes use of AM and PM to distinguish between the time from 12 midnight to 12 noon or AM or ante-meridian and from 12 noon to 12 midnight or PM or post-meridian. This sometimes leads to ambiguity when the suffix of AM and PM are left out. Military time, on the other hand, prevents this ambiguity by using the 24-hour notation where the counting of the time continues all the way to 24. In this notation, 1 p.m. is expressed as 1300 hours and 5:30 p.m. is expressed as 1730 hours. Let's have sample problem. An airplane bound for Beijing took off from the Ninoy Aquino International Airport at 11:15 a.m. Its estimated time of arrival in Beijing is at 15:55 hours. The distance from Manila to Beijing is 2,839 kilometers. Now the questions are, number 1, what time in standard time is the plane supposed to arrive in Beijing? Number 2, how long is the flight? And number 3, what is the plane's average speed? Here are the solutions. For number 1, 15:55 hours is equivalent to 3:55 p.m. in standard time. For number 2, 15:55 hours minus 11:15 hours is equal to 4 hours and 40 minutes or 4.67 hours. And for number 3, speed is equal to distance over time is equal to 2,839 kilometers divided by 4.67 hours is equal to 607.92 kilometers per hour.
And lastly, example number 7, determine a practical SI unit for each of the following. Number 1, the SI unit for length of the provincial road is kilometer. Number 2, the SI unit for the total area of a farm is square meter. Number 3, the SI unit for the mass of a baby is kilogram. Number 4, the SI unit for the volume of a small pail of water is liter. Number 5, the SI unit for the mass of a 24K gold bracelet is gram. Number 6, the SI unit for a bottle of juice drink is milliliter. Number 7, the SI unit for the length of wire of a phone charger is meter. Number 8, the SI unit for a squash bought at the market is kilogram. For number 9, the SI unit for an extension wire is meter. And lastly, number 10, the SI unit for a small bottle of alcohol is milliliter. Congratulations! You just finished the Module 1. You can now answer what's more on page 12, what I have learned on page 13, and what I can do on page 14.
That ends our lesson today. We hope you learned something. See you on our next episode, Ka-Acute Angels. Keep safe.